There is a reason Italian real estate is often so affordable. Behind those picture-perfect landscapes lurks a system that can break outsiders, financially, emotionally, and sometimes literally. I'm about to reveal 5 often ignored challenges that will redefine everything you think you know about moving to Italy. Things I learned after helping hundreds of expats. These are not comfortable truths. They are not what travel influencers show you. The Italian government won't tell you this either. Tourism boards hide it. Real estate agents deny it. But you tell me, which of these Italian complications would break you first? Spending 6 months in bureaucratic limbo with no legal status? Discovering your dream region has 300% higher unemployment than you expected? Or even worse, what if the very thing that draws you to Italy becomes your worst nightmare? Imagine discovering that your perfect Calabrian home sits in an earthquake zone with almost no insurance options. That is not uncommon. 94% of all Italian municipalities are at the risk of natural disasters. In the next few minutes, I will review 5 major challenges of Italy that sends thousands of expats fleeing each year. Most won't even make it past challenge 3. Will be different. The answer might save you thousands of euros and years of regret. So let's start with Level 1, the paperwork labyrinth. Welcome to the first level of Living in Italy game. Your first battle, Italian bureaucracy, where simple tasks become epic quests. You need strategy, patience, and maybe a bit of luck to survive this paperwork labyrinth and now the public offices you visit for, well, almost everything. And by the way, these and all other challenges that I will tell you today are important to know, but they don't change the fact that in my experience, Italy is one of the best countries to retire in Europe. Maybe only Greece is on the same level. I say that before a crowd of Italians go angry in the comment section. Relax, guys. Your country is truly, truly splendid. So back to the subject. Did you know that often expats in Italy find themselves trapped in a paradox? You need a document called codice fiscale to rent a home, but many offices want an address before issuing you a codice fiscale. This circular logic is just your first taste of what is to come. The unpredictability of everything is what really tests your patience. One day, you gather every document on the official list, wait for hours, only to hear, oh, we also need Form B38 with a Marca da Bollo stamp. And heaven help if you encounter an official having a bad day. The experience can vary dramatically depending on who is behind the desk. Finding a helpful public servant can feel like winning the lottery. This is what an expat living in Italy told us about the bureaucracy. Open quote. When we moved here, someone said to us that the Italian bureaucracy would take one step and turn it into 5 steps. And we've experienced that. The silliest was going to a local utility office to pay a bill. They were open, but they refused to let me pay the bill because I had not made an appointment. And then it took 2 weeks to make an appointment. Just silly. End quote. To save your sanity, here is a tip. Book post office appointments through their app to avoid those infamous queues. Also, many pharmacies can help schedule medical visits by passing longer waits at official centers. I made another video where I talk about purchasing real estate in Italy, and among many positive things, there was one big negative, which is, you guessed it, the paperwork. The language barrier multiplies every challenge. Forms, instructions, and crucial conversations happen in Italian, making every simple task monumentally difficult. Learning key phrases like "mi scusi, non capisco" isn't just helpful, it's essential for survival. Set realistic expectations about timing. Everything takes longer in Italy. It's not personal, it's just how things work. Appointments for crucial documents might take months, and the processing speed is slow. Now, before going to the next level, I have some really good news. My Expat Wealth and Lifestyle Compass, valued at $180, is yours free for a limited time. Receive our 74-page analysis of affordable cities in Spain, Italy, and France, our guide for zero-income tax countries that easily can save you up to $15,600, and the checklist that prevents costly mistakes. Don't let our chances go away. Scan this QR code now and join us for free. Level 2, the Two Italy's Challenge. While bureaucracy moves at the same glacial pace across all of Italy, that's about the most consistent experience you have through the country. Welcome to Level 2, the Two Italy's Challenge, where crossing from north to south feels like entering an entirely different nation with its own economic rules, cultural codes, and lifestyle possibilities, the economic divide between these regions is not subtle, it's staggering. In Calabria, a southern region, the GDP per capita is less than 44% of that in Lombardia up north. To put this in perspective, that's equivalent to the economic gap between Germany and Greece existing with a single country's borders. This division manifests in almost every aspect of life. The north functions as Italy's industrial powerhouse, benefiting from proximity to major European markets and decades of concentrated development. In the north, you'll find more job opportunities, especially for skilled professionals, but you'll pay premium prices for that economic advantage. Meanwhile, the south offers dramatically lower living costs. Housing in particular can cost half as much, but with much higher unemployment rates and lower income. Infrastructure tells a similar story. The motorway density in the south, 1.9 kilometers per 100 square kilometers, lags significantly behind the north, 3.3 kilometers per 100 square kilometers. Even more telling, only 8% of southern Italian ports connect to rail network for freight transport, compared to 48% of northern ports. The cultural contrasts are equally pronounced. Northern Italians typically present as more reserved and business-oriented, while Southerners are known for their expressive warmth and hospitality. Even the food changes dramatically. Northern cuisine features butter, rice, and egg-based pasta, while Southern cooking centers on olive oil, durum wet pasta, and fresh vegetables. And right now, I would like to ask you to stop for a second and tell me in the comment section, what's your favorite region of Italy? Tuscany, Calabria, Sicily, the most mentioned region in the comment section I will cover in a future video. If I needed to choose between the south and the north, the abundance of beautiful coastline, the sunshine, and the much lower costs would make me favor southern Italy. Level 3, Natural Disaster Mode. Those picture-perfect Italian landscapes hide a dangerous truth most expats don't discover until it's too late. Beyond the cultural charm and regional differences, Italy ranks 8th worldwide for natural hazard vulnerability, a sobering reality that affects 94% of Italian municipalities regardless of their north-south location. When you're admiring that centuries-old stone house perched dramatically on a hillside, consider why neighboring settlements might have disappeared. The statistics are alarming. Between 1970 and 2019, landslides alone caused 1,085 deaths and injured nearly 1,500 people. Nearly anywhere in Italy where you find hills, where heavy rainfall, rapid snowmelt, and human activities like construction destabilize terrain, there are risks of landslide. Earthquakes present another major threat, particularly along the Apennine Range, in Calabria, Sicily, and parts of northern Italy. Italy's position between the Eurasian and African plates make it seismically active, with over 30,000 medium to strong earthquakes recorded in the past 2,500 years. The 1915 Avezzano earthquake and 1980 Messina earthquake rank among the most devastating. In one of my videos I covered the famous €1 house program in Italy, and this is one of the alerts that I discovered. Many of the €1 homes are in highly seismic zones, so you might end up spending a small fortune to renovate a house in a place with very high earthquake risk. But landslides and earthquakes are not the only issue. Flooding affects 10.4% of Italians living in high-risk areas, responsible for 585 deaths and 481 injuries in recent decades. Don't forget Italy's volcanoes. It shares with Iceland the highest concentration of active volcanoes in Europe. Mount Etna and Stromboli, both in Italy, are the only two volcanoes in Europe with ongoing eruptions as 2025. If these natural hazards are not problem enough, there is an added issue, and I will illustrate that with an example. When I was younger, I lived in Chile. There, a magnitude 6 earthquake rarely causes any major damage, since buildings are prepared for that. But in Italy, building codes vary significantly by region, with older structures often failing to meet modern seismic standards. Government disaster response can be frustratingly slow. Rebuilding efforts after the 2009 Al-Aqla earthquake took more than 10 years. Level 4, the language barrier boss. Beyond the geological hazards, you are about to face a challenge far more pervasive in daily life: the language. While this battle might seem harmless at first, its difficulty scales dramatically the moment you step outside tourist zones. And I start this part with something I say frequently in my other videos. You should do your best to learn the language, or at least the basics of it, when you plan to spend more than a few months in a place. It's a great opportunity for you, and it shows respect to the place and to the locals. Many expats arrive in Italy with a dangerously optimistic assumption: I'll get by with English. This works fine in Milan's Navigli or Venice's Grand Canal, but venture just 20 minutes outside these areas, and suddenly you've entered a world with most interactions happening exclusively in Italian. The real danger emerges when you need healthcare. Imagine trying to explain a complex medical symptom to a doctor who speaks no English. This is not just frustrating, it can lead to misdiagnosis or inadequate treatment. Here's a tip an expat in Italy gave us. Open quote. Use Google Translate or any other app that offers Italian translations in a dire emergency. You would be surprised how good the translations actually are. End quote. There are services like Doctors in Italy, which connect you with English-speaking doctors who are available 24/7 for telemedicine visits. They can send necessary prescriptions to a pharmacy near you and provide guidance on where to go or what to do if your situation requires more than a virtual consultation. Then there is the bureaucracy beast we discussed earlier, except now with the language barrier. It's 10 times stronger because you can't understand what documents are being requested or why your application was rejected. Every form, every notice in your mailbox, every utility bill becomes a puzzle that needs solving. The social impact hits hardest over time. Studies show a direct correlation between language proficiency and expat satisfaction. Many who fail to learn Italian eventually return home despite loving the climate, food, and lifestyle. The winning strategy? Treat language learning as a non-negotiable investment. The breakthrough comes when you accept making mistakes as part of the process. And don't worry, Italian is a very fun language to learn. In the comment section I left the link for a method I use to learn new languages while having fun. And with that link you can try it for free and get a 40% discount in the premium version. Italians generally appreciate any effort to speak their language. Even broke attempts are usually met with encouraging smiles. And now level 5, Road Warrior Survival. You've navigated bureaucracy, chosen your region, prepared for earthquakes, and picked up some Italian phrases. Now comes the daily adventure that will truly test your mettle: driving on Italian roads. In southern Italy, driving is not just transportation, it's an adrenaline sport. Traffic regulations more like casual suggestions. This is particularly true in places like Sicily, Calabria, and larger cities like Naples, where the driving environment has earned this Wild West reputation. Here, your vehicle becomes an extension of your personality in a constant negotiation for space. Watch as cars tailgate with mere inches to spare, not necessarily out of aggression, but as the normal flow of traffic. Turn signals? Often optional, especially in roundabouts or during lane changes. You notice drivers frequently straddle lanes and treat two-lane roads as flexible spaces with moving boundaries. A local described it brilliantly the driving culture in southern Italy for us. Open quote. The problem with Italian drivers isn't that they are bad exactly. It's that they drive like children, very impulsively. They'll ride on your tail aggressively and then pass you with a big show in a totally inappropriate location. Then, 100 meters later, they will pull into a supermarket parking lot. End quote. Parking adds another dimension of creativity. You see vehicles squeezed into impossibly tight spaces, double parked on busy streets, or perched on sidewalks. Remember, white-lined spaces are free, yellow are reserved, and blue require payment, though many locals seem to interpret these colors differently. Then there are the ZTLs, limited traffic zones, that protect historic centers. Enter one with a car and you discover the efficiency of Italian fine collection. Navigation apps like Waze can help, but the learning curve remains steep. In some dense, narrow, and, no offense, chaotic southern cities like Catania, even experienced Italian drivers proceed with caution. Many expats wisely opt for ferries or buses instead. Survival strategies: rent the smallest car practical for your needs. Those narrow medieval streets were not designed for SUVs. In notoriously difficult areas like city centers, major tourist destinations, or challenging coastal roads, embrace public transportation, if there is available, or consider hiring a driver. Like everything in Italy, even the apparent disorder follows its own beautiful, if perplexing, logic. For me, Italy is one of the most spectacular countries to live as a retiree in Europe. But not the only one. There are some splendid towns in other parts of Europe. And for this reason, I made my most important video ever revealing the best cities to move to in Europe. By far, our greatest video. Watch it by clicking on this icon here on your left, and join my Patreon for the sources, charts, and maps for more videos plus a chat so I can answer your questions. Tired to get my 3 ebooks on living and retiring abroad. Scan the QR code today.